The number one problem every remote sales closer has when they graduate from any sales program is finding opportunities. And believe me when I say you're not going to get it from your mentor. Even colleges point graduates in the right direction. The problem is colleges require a lot of time before you graduate and can rack up some serious debt. Sales courses, on the other hand, are reasonably priced when comparing them with a six-figure college career. But the problem is there is no direction provided on how to find opportunities that put good money in your pocket. I know because moving from the physical world to the virtual, I've always known how to make money, but never without leaving my home. And it wasn't easy. I spent almost 9 long months trying to achieve that. And in case you're wondering, I have a family and I've always been the breadwinner there. So when I was not bringing any money home, you could imagine what kind of environment I created for my family. But I'm not one to give up. And as stubborn as I've been, the results have paid off. I'm going to share with you what took me 9 long months to discover, and you won't hear it from anyone else unless they've watched this video. That means you're getting this exclusively from me right now. And best of all, I'm giving it to you freely so you can start attracting quality opportunities and start putting money in your pocket as soon as possible. Now, there's no way you're going to be able to do that tomorrow with just what I'm going to share with you today, because it does take a few weeks to develop your status, and it will all make sense once I finish explaining it all to you in the next 15 minutes. You can thank me later, as dozens have in my LinkedIn recommendations section. And I trust when you start seeing the results yourself, you will also leave one as well. And I want to thank you in advance for that. Not only will I be giving you the knowledge you need to achieve this, I'm also going to give you no strings attached access to my free sales training group, in which many are getting amazing value. This is going to give you more experience and a greater edge than most sales closers out there. We've already seen great results from the trainings. Let's take Drew, for example. He took one 20-minute training session and 3 weeks later generated almost $30,000 in sales in less than 7 days. If you don't believe me, you can reach out to him yourself. Now, back to the problem at hand. Let's get you trained to attract those quality opportunities. If you don't have a pen and paper available, that's okay. Reach out to me after this training and I can summarize it in writing. However, it won't make sense unless you watch this entire video. So please stay to the end. What I'm about to share with you will provide you with all the resources that you need to improve your social and professional status, train you to properly qualify business opportunities, give you more experience preparing you for opportunities that require that experience. And one of my favorites is repel unqualified opportunities that will unintentionally waste your time. Also, I want to provide you with an endless supply of opportunities. Best of all, once you implement every single one of these steps, you will never have to do it again, which means that your opportunities will always come in on autopilot. Now, you will start to see the results almost immediately. However, the real results come when you implement everything that I'm going to share with you. Let's get started. Most everyone does not understand how valuable LinkedIn is, and I'm going to share with you 5 key elements that will turn your LinkedIn profile into an opportunity funnel, providing you with the results like no other closers unless they've watched this video. And these 5 key elements start with your professional brand. Most sales closers start with a profile that looks like this one, but do you want to know what it says to the business owner when they visit your page? It says student driver. It says trainee. It tells the business owner that you came from an assembly line. The owner doesn't see anything specific about you that separates you from everyone else, that makes you special as a closer to close for them. And you want to know what kind of business owners look for someone like this? Yup, you guessed it. Unqualified ones. These are the profiles they're looking for. Someone who is new and they can take advantage of, whether it's intentional or not. You need to be aware of these business owners that take advantage of you, and they will if you don't know what you're doing. But don't worry, I will teach you this in my free sales training group, which you will be given access to at the end of this training. But let's get you set up for those quality opportunities. And just a quick note, the most common questions I always get are, do I have to message business owners? And do I have to post content on LinkedIn? And the simple answer to both is no. If you implement everything in this video, you won't have to. If you build it, they will come. These first 3 will be easy to develop. However, number 4.5 and 5 will take some time. Number 1 is going to be your personal branding. So when considering personal branding, you want to ask yourself, what message am I conveying to the business owner? and who do I want to attract? And I broke this down into 4 simple components that are easy to remember. Number 1 is going to be your profile picture. Is it geared towards B2B, B2C, or both? If you don't want to attract B2B, you can look more casual. If you only want to attract B2B, you want to look more serious. Number 2 is going to be your title. I don't want you to be like the status quo, having the same title as everyone else. So try to customize your title. Feel free to use any of these that I'm going to list right now. You can use enrollment coach, sales specialist, closing expert, or sales consulting expert, or you can come up with your own. It doesn't matter. The best thing about setting up your LinkedIn profile is you can customize it however you want. So if you're not happy with it today, you can change it. Number 3 is going to be your banner. And the way that I see the banner is like the cover of our book. The best way to get people's attention is to convey your message within the image of your banner. Like for example, let's take a look at mine. If you notice, I have a provocative picture in the background with money burning, but then on the side, you see an arrow coming out of it, and it's going in an upwards direction to signify return on investment. And then number 4 is our slogan. Notice how this ties everything in. So you want to use your creativity to come up with a clever slogan to catch people's attention. Let's take mine for example again. Mine says, turn your burn into return. Now, when you tie that in with the money that's burning, that's turn your burn, right? Into return with the arrow going upwards, signifying return. So what I'm telling the business owner is that whenever they invest money and I'm involved, I'm going to make sure that they make a return on their investment. And that's extremely important to any business owner, whether it's B2B or B2C. And there's a lot of different clever banners that people have come up with that look just as nice, if not nicer than mine. Now, I've been doing this for a while, so I have some pretty great ideas that may be able to help you. I would just recommend that if you're kind of stuck on how to do this process, just feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to take a look at your LinkedIn profile and see what we can do to help you improve it. Okay, the second key element is going to be in your summary or your about section. Now, what I would recommend is if you have any friends in your networks that are copywriters, ask them to review it for you. Ask them what you can do to help you improve it. In most cases, most people in our networks are very willing to help us out and audit our summary. And the reason why that's important is that we want to appeal to our target audience. So when the business owner comes to our about section and they start reading it, they actually engage and it draws them in. That's the whole purpose of using copy inside of our about section. But the most important elements to attract these quality influencers, and it's going to have to do with LinkedIn's algorithm. But we're going to start by listing every title, niche, and what they might offer to attract as many influencers as possible. Now, I know that some of us have been taught to be very niche, to be a specialist in what we do. The real growth and the real experience comes in diversity. You want to get onto as many opportunities as possible. That way, whenever you see a situation come up, you can say, you know what? I've already dealt with this. I know how to handle this. Not to mention, you're not limiting yourself to opportunities, which means that you'll be able to get more opportunities and put more money in your pocket. So I highly recommend that you pick several different niches rather than just one. So how do we target them? Simple. We just use the business owner's title. So you're going to use words like business owner, founder, influencer, coach, and mentor. And then you're going to use the niches of coaching, personal development, digital marketing, e-commerce, lead generation, mindset, business, and real estate. And then of course, we're going to use our offers, which is high ticket offer, program, course, product, or service. Now, I understand that some of you might get a little bit anxiety because you're saying, well, if I market to all of these different business owners, I may not know what I'm doing. That's okay. That's the beauty of it, is that because it's your LinkedIn profile, it's a free funnel, which means that when these business owners come to you, you actually get a lot of good practice into qualifying them. And eventually you'll start getting to know which ones are qualified, which ones are not. It does take a while. I know this because it did take me several months before I could qualify them properly. But after a while, I learned a very streamlined process to qualify these business owners. This is one of the 3 ways you are telling LinkedIn's algorithm what you're looking for. Now, here's the second one. That brings us to our 3rd key element, which is your skills endorsements section. If you haven't already, I want you to create 3 closing and sales skills. And not only create them, but I want you to pin them. That means that they have to be showing at all times. If they're not pinned, LinkedIn's algorithm will assume that they're not the skills you're offering to your audience, which means that business owners are not going to be able to find you as easily. And I found this out when I was developing other skills in my endorsements section. I had taken off the sales and closing skills off of the pinned section, and I realized that people were not reaching out to me anymore. But luckily for me, I was already closing and I didn't even have time to develop new relationships. So it worked out well for me. So here are some of the examples that you can use: sales, high ticket sales, and closing abilities. Here's the third way you're telling LinkedIn's algorithm what you're looking for. Start searching through your network recommendations to find coaches and mentors and start connecting with them. I don't care if they're not qualified. The whole purpose of doing this on a daily basis, so when a coach or a mentor is looking for a closer, guess who's going to be the first picture that they see? Yep, you guessed it. So with these three elements alone, you will be seeing more opportunities come your way, but it doesn't mean that money will also. That's why I put together my free sales training group. See, before the quarantine, I was closing for a very well-known influencer, and that opportunity happened to be a live event. I had just started closing in late March, easily generating over $20,000 in sales in a low ticket offer. And I never would have guessed that I would be working that whole month just to be giving refunds back. I was in utter shock when they announced the national lockdown due to the rising cases of the coronavirus. I was counting on that money for the following month. And I know it's not much, but it's enough to light some fire under my feet. Fortunately for me, I had spoken with another business owner in February who had a B2C opportunity that I didn't exactly turn down. The opportunity was not typical, but luckily for me and the business owner, I'm not a typical sales closer. It took me a dozen tries, but I was able to formulate an easy qualify and disqualify system and close 3 leads, which took about 20 minutes a call within 3 days. But I'll repeat it again. It wasn't unconventional. Now, that's not to be mistaken with unethical. The juicy part of the story is that I was able to earn $1,500 on the spot. As soon as the business owner got paid, I was cut my commissions that very day. And again, I'm going to teach you all of this when you join my free sales training group. But I would argue that setting up these 5 key elements is far easier than the combination of things that I had to do to earn that money. So let's get back to the training. Key element number 4, if you don't have it already, create a featured section in your profile. And this is where you'll feature an introduction video, which will allow your visitors to get to know you as a trusted professional, which will be more memorable to them. Now, I know what you're saying. Oh, I got to make a video. Yeah, if you want to stand out, want to build trust with a good business partner through your profile, this is going to be the way to do it. And it might take a while, but like I said, once it's all set up, you're done. You don't have to do it ever again. Take mine, for example. I did this one about 1.5 years ago. Now, I know what you're thinking. I need to update that, and I agree with you 100%. The second one is going to be a very advanced level of difficulty to do, but I'm going to give you some tips that's going to help you out. Now, getting recommendation videos from others is not exactly something that you approach somebody and you say, hey, could you do this for me? It's not really that easy. Because for somebody to give you a recommendation video, they have to have confidence in your abilities to deliver to any business owner that you work with. You really have to wow that person to willingly give you a recommendation video. And before I share that secret that I have of getting video recommendations, key element number 5 kind of falls in the same category. So we're just going to pair them together and then I'll give you the advice. So key element number 5 is your written recommendations. And again, it's a little bit more challenging to get people to write you a written recommendation, but there's a few things that I've learned along the way that has persuaded people to willingly give me a written recommendation. So here's the tips. Number 1, I used to role play with people, and typically I would just say, hey, you know what, to help out each other on our LinkedIn profiles, how about we exchange a recommendation? Now, if you're not confident in their closing abilities, you don't have to make the recommendation about their closing abilities. It's okay to recommend them on their character, what type of person they are, what you learned about them, what you like about them. The second thing that I would do is whenever I gave people feedback, I would give them a plan of action to earn that recommendation. So let's say, for example, you and I are on a role play and I give you some advice to ask better quality questions, to focus on the needs of the prospect. And next week you schedule another role play with me and I see that you're effectively doing that. Obviously, you put in a lot of hard work and effort into that. Now I'm going to give the recommendation based off of how well you adapted, how quickly you learned, and how well you started to implement what I recommended for you. And that's a great review, believe it or not. Now you have all the resources you need to attract these quality opportunities. Keep in mind that it will still take some time to develop your social and professional status, not to mention also to figure out how to qualify and disqualify these business opportunities. But if you stick around for the second video, I will share with you how it is that we can help you to streamline that process so you can start putting money in your pocket as quickly as possible.